Hello everybody and welcome back to the Farthest Frontier Let's Play here on my channel. In the last episode we basically did everything that you see here, which was to get a bit of a housing development underway. Now if I go ahead and press G, you'll see that the desirability is very good for all of these houses, and they are in fact all above 30%, meaning they have been upgraded to level 2. And we currently have 180 out of 192 population, so we've got room for new people to grow. Now by pressing P and bringing up the professions tab right here, we can see everybody that is currently working in the town. And we have 49 laborers, which is quite a lot. So I think we want to get that number down by making some new professions that people can be doing to contribute more to the town rather than just having all these laborers. Now I believe this is new since the update. I know that they've brought out a new map, but I haven't noticed this before, where you can see here when it says workers, we've got this number here, this -3. Now I'm going to try and figure out exactly what this means. So let's start here with the baker. It says 3 -1 out of 3. So let's go and search for the baker. So we have this bakery right here. Oh, okay, the -1 is because the villager is sick. Okay, so perhaps that's what that's showing me. I'm going to double check this. So let's go back over here, and for example the tanner says 4 -1 out of 4, so let's search for the tanner. So that's this person right here. It's not saying that they are sick though. However, if I go into the tannery, we do indeed have a sick person. So it seems this is a new thing, guys. When you press P, you can see here all these numbers, and the red numbers are people who are unwell. Now at the moment you'll see that our gold is currently at 26 per month positive, but we are spending 40 per month on services. Now in the services tab here, you can see that we've currently got 4 rat catchers, and each of those are 8 gold a month for the upkeep. Now I put all those in because we were having a bit of a problem with rats, but what I'm going to do is get rid of all of them apart from one. So I'll save a lot of gold by getting rid of some rat catchers, and the rat catchers, if we click on the building, does have one of these work area tabs right here. What that means is we can leave them where they are for now, but if a rat problem should develop in another area of the town, we'll simply click here and then move this around to wherever is going to be the best place for them. So for now I'm going to make sure this is just keeping all of these houses and food stores here is very happy, just like that. And on these other rat catcher buildings, we're going to go ahead and salvage them. So I know I have one here. I put one over here as well by the food, by the granary, so that's this one right here. Let's go and salvage that one. And a third one was put down here somewhere. Let me find this one. Yeah, there we go, just right in the center right here. So we're going to salvage that one as well. Just go ahead and play. I'm going to speed through that, but that's going to save us 24 gold each month, so that's going to be quite big over time. Now in the meantime, I'm also going to go ahead and move this building right here. This is our root cellar, so let's relocate that building, and we're going to put it just over here next to this one. I'm also going to transfer a load of gold that we have here into our trading post. Let's get up to around 2,000 there. That way we'll be ready to buy things if we need to, and I'd really like to buy some cows if possible, and then we can look at getting into that side of the game, which is sort of an extra farming level. Now just going back here under professions, I want to see what we're actually missing at the moment and start adding these things to the town. So we're doing pretty good. We have most things covered, but one thing that we don't have right yet is a potter. So here's the potter building right here. It's going to require clay each time to produce its pottery, but we did recently tap into the clay pits that are around our town, so now is probably a good time to add this person in. Now, I think with the pottery we're just going to be selling it for the most part, and as such I want it to be somewhere nearby to the trading post, which is right here. I think this is going to be a really good location for it because we've got the clay pit right here, and there are others that we are dotted around the town, like there's one over here for example as well, but that's also very nearby. But that way it's in between the clay, it's near the trading post, so we should be able to get a lot of pottery into the trading post and sell it for extra gold. So all of that is now starting to happen, and while that's going on, I think I'd like to look at what resources we could be tapping into that we're currently not. A good way to do this is under the build menu. If you go to your resources and select the resource you'd like, so for example let's say we're trying to find a coal mine, we can left click that. Then when we look around the map, you'll see for example this coal right here just shows up. Now I might have missed that if I was looking just for this little icon right here, but the difference in color is very useful. We've only got 173 coal here, so that's not a lot, but I will tap into it because we just as well use that up. So let's go ahead and place that down here, and I'll make sure I build a bit of road out to here as well so that people can get there quickly. And I'm going to have a search around as well and just see if there's any others near the town, because as I say, there's not quite a lot of coal in that one reserve there. Here we go, there's another one over here by the looks of it. Oh no, that's iron. How much iron's over here? Let's have a look. Well, that's not a ton of iron, but do you know what? I think I will mine it just for the sake of it. So let's click on the iron mine and let's put that one out there, and I guess it doesn't really matter orientation. Then I just want to go ahead and build a road from it and just get a straight road going right the way up to here. So let's get as far as we can and then add on to it there and connect it up. Oh, and I'm going right through the fruit trees here. That's the problem. So we need to sort of come around this way, I guess, to like maybe like here. And then over to there. There we go. So we've got some nice straight roads there connecting that up. Okay, so there's a coal and an iron mine just here. The iron mine has 267, which isn't a lot, but the coal is fantastic. We've got almost 2,500 coal, so I definitely want to tap into that. That is going to really be awesome. That is obviously a lot of coal, so let's put that one right there. I'm just trying to get an iron mine built, but it's saying it's too steep in most places, but we can build it just here like this, the iron mine, and that will tap into that iron that is just there. So we'll get a couple of roads now for these guys as well, and I'm not sure where I'm going here. Let's just build down to here a second, and then I need to find my town because I'm quite far away from my town right now, so it's like over here somewhere. Okay, yeah, this is a serious distance away from my town. So connecting this up, you know, it's going to be really far away, but we'll just have to find a way to deal with that. So this is where holding the shift key for roads is really useful, because when you're building a road that's this long, it's so easy to just be like a little bit off. Like this way is not quite straight and I wouldn't realize, but as soon as I press the shift key, of course, it straightens up. Now, a lot of the tips and things I mentioned in these videos have been mentioned in other videos on my channel in sort of tips videos and things, but I'd like to mention them again just in case you haven't seen those, and you know, that way hopefully I'm getting the best information out there to you guys. So the shift thing for straightening the rows will work on 45-degree angles. So you can see here we can have a nice diagonal out if we want, or we could go straight this way or straight like that way, but I'm gonna do a nice diagonal out to about here, and we're starting to get somewhere near our mine now. So let's go ahead and grab this road here. Hopefully this is going to show up on cam, but I am connecting it up to my road. There we go. And then I can connect it up to the road that's just here. Very well. Okay, that's great. And then obviously we just have this bit of road out here that we want to get rid of before we build that. And then we just come to the end here, left click that, and then hold down shift. And let's get back down to where our other road is. There we go. We can shift to there. Okay, good. So this is one really big build project. Let's go ahead and press play. It's going to take a long time for this to happen. Now, the reason I moved the storage area that was over here and put it over to this one is we're going to build ourselves in a healer's hut. So here we go. Here's the healer's hut. It's going to add desirability. So that's one of the reasons we wanted it so close to all these houses. But it's obviously going to help with all of the sick people that we keep getting. Now, the upkeep for it is quite a lot, but I'm going to come on to that in a minute and ways that we can mitigate that. But I just think it's worth having one of those in at this stage of the game, as I do seem to be getting a lot of people that are getting sick. And by getting rid of those rat catchers, we now are making 51 gold per month, which once the healer's hut is in, will drop down to 21. But again, I'm going to show you a way that we can mitigate this, and overall, I do still think it's worth it. So the rat catcher is going to need to be moved. As you can see, we've got some areas over here that need to be sorted out. So let's go ahead and grab those and move the work area to over there now. And it is just something we have to keep on top of and micromanage a little bit. Later on in the game, we might be able to get to a stage where we can just have enough rat catchers dotted around the key areas of the town. But for now, we'll just have to manage it in this way. Ah, look at this. We have a trader on his way to our trading post. Very good. So hopefully this guy is selling cattle. Let's see what he brings us. Just going to hit pause a second as well and go to the trading hut and see, is there anything that we want to sell? So at this stage, I'm not sure there is really anything we're going to sell, but let's see if there's stuff that we can buy from him. All right, here we go. So he's arrived. Let's see what he's got for us. So unfortunately, he doesn't have any cattle for us. He would be willing to buy candles though, so we could sell candles to him at an average price, which isn't too bad. Other than that, there's nothing here I particularly want at this stage. So I think what I'm going to do is just hit play for now and sort of wait and see if another trader arrives. The reason I'm doing this is it can happen, and if it does happen, then we might be able to find some trade-offs. I mentioned this in my trading video, but sometimes you can buy items from one trader and then sell them immediately to the other trader at a profit. In any case, we've still got 59 days. If we do want to trade with this particular trader, then we can sort of wait until the end of her being here and then just trade with her at that point. Now, food is still a bit of an issue for me, so I want to check on my farms because they've been neglected a little bit while we were doing the last episode and at the start of today's episode. So I'm just going to go through now, and I'm not going to go through the whole process with you guys. I've covered farming quite a lot on my channel if you guys want guides on that sort of thing, but I'm going to try and get this a little bit better so we can get more food being produced. One thing I will mention with farms, because I've been asked this a few times down in the comments section, is how do you spread fertilizer on them? Well, this is our compost heap right here, and you get this icon here that says the compost is ready. So if you left click on that, you then have to click here on the compost pile that says it's ready. And when I left click here, you'll see that this comes up above all of my farms. So at this point, you can find the farm that has the lowest fertility and add up the fertilizer to it. Of course, you don't have to add it to the lowest fertility one. You can add it to any one you want, but you just click there, add compost, and there we go. That's done. So yeah, so now it will basically, they'll get to work on adding compost to that field, and they'll improve the fertility of that field. So the trader that we have here is now leaving in just 4 days, and if we wanted to make any sort of trade with them, then now would be the time. However, there really is nothing here I particularly want to buy, and the only thing I would consider doing would be to sell our candles at an average price. However, we're not desperate for gold right now, so I'd personally rather wait until we are able to sell the candles to a trader at like an above that average price, because obviously then we get more money for our produce. So I'm just going to let this trader pass us by without trading with them. Now, one thing I think I can do to help with the food is actually get some more fishermen in, because we've had just the 2 fisher people so far since pretty much the start of our town, and as it's grown, we haven't really expanded on that. Just noticing we've got some rats down here, so I might go ahead and get this rat catcher and move them to down here as well. There we go. Very good. And let's build a bit of road in here and then get some fishers down. So I'm going to put one about here. We don't need to worry about the work area because we're going to move that later anyway. And then I'll put another one just like down here like that. And then we'll move their work areas and start maximizing the amount of fish we're producing. Now, as we're going so far away from our town here to get to this coal and iron mine, you can see that I'm traveling quite a way just to get up to the vicinity. Probably a good idea for us to go to housing, and let's see, I want to build one of these here, a temporary shelter. So if you've got a work area that's so far away, it's definitely a good idea to do this, and then the people can come and work here. Now, the healer's hut has been built, and this must be something that is new since the update, but the monthly cost you can see here is actually only 20 gold at the moment, not not 30. So I think the reason they've changed that is a lot of people were complaining about how expensive it was and coming up with workarounds. Now I said I was going to show you a workaround, and I still will, but now that it's 20, you may not need to use this. It will depend on your situation. However, the workaround is this button right here, toggle building production. If we go ahead and click that, you'll see the monthly cost drops down to 0. So basically we can just do that, press play, and we'll get the extra gold each month. But then if somebody does get sick, we go back to the healer's hut and turn its production back on. That way you're only spending gold when people are actually sick and need the healer's hut, instead of spending it on all the months when you don't actually need it. So definitely a way of saving gold, but it is good as well that they have managed to turn that down. Now our fisherman's hut, let's have a look here. Let's relocate this area and let's see where we can get it. 70% looks like it's going to be the best we're going to get here. If I go any higher than that, I'm just overlapping with this area over here, which I'm not sure is a great idea. However, it is at 120. I am going to overlap. I'm going to do it for now and see what happens. And if these fish stocks start to dry out, then what I can do is move this work area up to around here and basically just keep playing around with it until we find a good, like, happy medium. It's interesting because my healer's hut is turned off, but my gold has gone up only to 50. I believe it was on 46 before. You'll be able to go back in the video to double check that, but I'm pretty certain that's what it was. So turning it off should give us 20 extra gold a month. It's only give us an extra 4. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Once again, I need to move this rat catcher as well. So we've got a rat over here. So let's go and get this whole area here in. There we go. And it is a little bit of a pain having to keep an eye on the rat catcher in this way and keep moving the work area. It'd be nice if they just sort of went around the whole town perhaps, but I'm only doing it to save gold. Of course, you could set up more rat catchers if that was like your preference. There we go. Our gold is now up to 74 per month, which is actually really good. I'm very happy with that at this stage of the game. So maybe it just took a while there to update. Now we're starting to get some pottery made up. So I want to go ahead and get some of that transferred over into our trading post so that we can sell that. But now I might just set this number around 200. I'm not sure if the pottery has a use in the town, but I did have a bit of an idea. If we click on the happiness up here, you'll see there's different tabs, including the luxury items tab. Now, since I've been making pottery, this has gone up to 100%, whereas it was down at maybe 60% or something like that before I made it. So my assumption is that pottery count as a luxury item and add towards the villager happiness. So I don't necessarily want to just get rid of all of it, but hopefully we can sell a lot of it. Okay, we have 8 new people. I mean, currently we have 8 months worth of food that is in stock, and we are looking to get more production going. So I'm going to go ahead and accept them. Now, with them in the town, it has created a slight housing shortage, which I'm going to rectify in a second. And now we have 38 laborers. So let's go ahead and see ways we can change this. So first of all, I'm going to add one to the tanner right here and one to the farmer. So we got these productions being completely filled as best we can. I'm also going to go out to these mines that are out here and see if they've been built yet. And if they have, I might add some workers into those as well. So these are actually still being built. We knew this would take quite a while, but what I do think I could do is put a work camp in here. They have this temporary shelter nearby. So if we put in a work camp, then we can get all these resources that are nearby here, and they'll still have somewhere they can live. So I think I'm going to put this about here. Looks like there's a good number of rocks and trees in here, and we can always move the work area later on if we wish. Now let's see, we're going to need to build an extra house, aren't we? So let's go into the housing here and see where we could put this one. So what I think I'm going to do is look to put this house maybe just about here. And I have it facing this way because in the future what we could do is extend this road off down here and this one off down here. And basically if you take this as like one big blueprint that we did in the last episode as the housing episode, we could basically copy this blueprint and paste it into here. So the nice thing about it is it will stack, and you have some benefits of doing that. For example, this house right here that we're building is going to be like near to these gardens and within range of like this healer right here and the bakery here to give them the extra desirability. We're not going to build a whole complex all in once because I don't want our population to go up by that much, but I do want to just have some housing in place for those extra few people that we currently need it for. Now with so much gold, I am going to go ahead and build a rat catcher back in over here. I'm going to put it in near here. There's a couple reasons I'm going to do this. First of all, I keep getting rat icons in these areas. That's because we have food here which attracts the rats, so they're more high risk. So it's partly so I don't have to keep clicking because I am doing that quite a lot at the moment with moving the rat catcher around, and also partly because there's so much food here that I want to keep nice so that our food stocks start to build up. And as we are currently making 74 gold per month, I think we can easily afford that, and it's sort of worth doing. So yep, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add 2 people into this clay pit here and 2 people to this clay pit right here. So we've got 8 people now instead of 4 collecting clay, because basically we can afford it with the amount of laborers that we have. Coincidentally, I have a population of 195 as you can see, and currently I haven't had to turn the healer's hut back on. It has been several months, so I've saved myself, I'd say in the region of 60 to 80 gold already, and that is going to continue. That is quite a lot, but year on year it really does start to add up. So when you're questioning whether it is worth bothering to turn turn it off or not. I still think it is at the 20, even though it is now the reduced price from 30 down to 20. We've had a new villager born, and this potentially is going to keep happening, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and actually build in another house over here. So we're going to orient this one this way and build it there. So again, that can connect up to this road later on. And this is just doing a bit of future planning. In general, I find with city builders, future planning is important, but I would say it's particularly important in Farthest Frontier, as very quickly your happiness can go from being really green like it is now to being quite low, and the same thing can happen with your food. So you always have to be thinking about the future in this game. That's a big tip I would give if you're new to the game. Try and anticipate what's going to come next, and happiness and food are probably the two things to focus on. I had a thought with the rat catcher actually. I think it'd be good if you could set multiple locations for the rat catcher building, and potentially some other buildings in the game too. Basically, this one rat catcher has the ability, like easily, to basically patrol this whole area right here and rid them of rats, and then we get rats in this residential area here, and I select the area here, and he goes and gets rid of all of them. So his capability is fine. He's got plenty of ability to do that, but I just have to keep moving the thing, which is just a little bit tedious, and I'm sure if you've done the same thing, you'd agree. Now we have 2 sick people, so boom, heal us up, back on. We're going to spend that 20 gold, and we're going to try to heal up our people. So again, this is the process, right? You get sick people, you turn it on, you heal them up, and then once they're healed, you turn it back off again. And it's very simple to do that, and I'm finding I'm only having to do it a couple of times a year, so it's not too bad. Now, last episode, I talked about how as soon as I had these houses right here at the desirability level of 30%, and because I also had the resources needed to upgrade them, they automatically upgraded. Now, I thought this was just a feature in the game, but unless it's something they've added in, I don't think it is. I think it's just something I missed. There is a way you can turn this off. So in the top right of the screen right here, you'll see automatic building upgrades enabled on this blue building here, and you can go ahead and click that if you want to disable it and do the upgrades when you're good and ready. I'm going to keep mine on for now. I don't really see any downside to automatically upgrading, but just thought I'd mention it in case it's something that you wanted to know for your worlds. Okay, both villagers cured, back to the healer's hut, turn that back off and get all that lovely gold back. So I've just hit year 20. I thought it might be worth mentioning. This is the progress I've made. Year 20 and 200 people, and this is like my town size. Now, I'm pretty new to the game, like all of us, because it's a new game, so I don't know if this is like I'm playing fast or playing slow, but I'd love a bit of feedback from you guys as to what you were experiencing at a similar sort of time period if you've played 20 years yourself. Do bear in mind I am on pacifist mode and medium sort of environmental difficulty, so obviously if you're on easier or harder, then that could obviously skew things a little bit, but I'd love to get feedback and know what you guys think about this. I'd imagine I'm progressing a little slower because doing videos does slow you down a little bit in terms of like your production stuff. Now, I was just off to check on our mines, and I noticed that we've got a couple interesting things here. We've got a deer population. We have a clay deposit here with 4,600 clay. That is a lot of clay. We also have a lot of like berries and things around here too. So I decided I'm actually going to make a little work area out here. I've been looking to find new jobs for my laborers, and you can never have too much food, so that'll be good. And clay is going to be useful too. At the end of the day, clay is a finite resource, so we want to get as much as we can to use up for good things. So let's go ahead and get a few things built here. So Hunter's cabin can go there. Then let's go ahead and build up one of the forager shacks, and just put that like right on top of everything that's going on here. I think I'll just put it over here right next to everything that's happening, and of course we can move the work area if we need to. I've just seen another clay deposit here. This one has 4,000 clay in it, so that's amazing really. I think what I'll do for now is just work one of these clay deposits, and then I can always work another one in the future. So let's go to resources, clay, and we'll start on the big one right here and place that one down in there. Probably a good idea as well if we go ahead and build another temporary shelter in this area. Maybe just put that one like over here somewhere, so it's just like a little work camp out of town here. And as I'm saying work camp, I'm realizing that's exactly what I should also add to this area so we can get the extra wood and stone. So let's go back to resources and get a work camp built. I think around about here seems to be a good location at the moment, so we'll put that one in as well. So there we go. We're gonna get our laborers to work. Now let's go up to the mines. That's where I wanted to go. I just want to have a little check here and see if they've been built yet. Okay, the iron mine has indeed been built. There we go. We've got a couple people in here, and I think I might add this up and have like 4 people out here working. That could be good. And the coal mine, let's do the same. Let's get a lot of coal, a lot of iron, and as it's so far away, having a few more people here might be a good idea just to get people, working on this area, and then they can obviously bring all the stuff back to us. Okay, a new trader has arrived. Always an exciting time. Let's see what they've got for us. Oh, I like this, guys. Not only does this person have 3 cows, they have them at a heavily reduced price. So these are absolutely something we're going to buy. They're also selling this cheese here at a heavily reduced price too. And cheese is something that is great to have. I think it lasts a long time, or maybe even just doesn't spoil. So it's a great thing to have for a food source. So I think, yeah, there's a couple things to buy here. So let's start with the cows. Let's go ahead and click here. And basically we want to buy all 3 cows for 1,296. I'm buying all 3 because we can actually keep them in our storage. It's not like, just because they're livestock, it's not, the game doesn't have a mechanic where like, they can't be stored in storage. So I'm going to definitely get all 3. And I'm going to hit buy and transfer because I want them to go into my town storage. So there we go. 3 of those. Boom. Now as for the cheese, it is being sold at this heavily reduced price, and we've still got a lot of gold left here. So let's go ahead and buy a load of the cheese here. I'm going to buy like a lot of it, right? So we've got 122 cheeses. So let's go ahead and buy and transfer that as well. And it'll be a bit of a test for me, to be honest. I'm going to see whether or not it spoils. I know that I could just Google it and stuff, but sometimes I like to just have a bit of fun in the game and investigate things on my own rather than just knowing everything straight away. So with that done, and with the fact that we are trying to work on food longer term here, it might be time to start looking at pastures and farming animals. However, let's go ahead and turn the healer hut back on a second because we do have someone who is unwell. So if we go to the build menu, we can go to the barn, which is right here. And if we left click this, we get this fertility sort of overlay, which is the fodder bonus overlay. And from this screen right here, we can then see where is going to be a good place to build this. Now, if you build it too close to houses, it will reduce the desirability, so do bear that in mind. But as I have this farming area right here, I think if we were to build this one round about here would be really good, and I might just move that house that's in the red later on. The reason being is that it's then right next to this road here as well, so that could be kind of useful. So I'm going to build it in there, and it's 85% fodder bonus. Let's go ahead and prioritize that as well. I'm pretty excited to get the animal herding going on. It's something I actually haven't done in the game yet, so let's get that happening and see how we go. Oh, look at this, guys. We have another trader that's coming to the trading hut, and right now this one here is still going to be here for quite a while, so we can see if we can do any trade-offs. So when we open this up now, we have two tabs for traders, and we can see what each of them is buying and selling and whether we can do any trade-offs between them. So unfortunately this time around I'm not finding anything here that we can do as a trade-off between these two traders, but if you'd like to see an example of when this can happen, there is one in the trading tutorial I made that is live on my channel. So we can see here now that our villagers are pretty happy. They would just like more shoes, more luxury items, and more soap. So back at the trading post, I was looking to see if any of those things are being sold by the traders, but I don't really think they are, unfortunately. But there we go. Our happiness is still good, and we're not going to worry about that too much, but yeah, I just thought I'd take a look at it while the traders are here. Incidentally, if I go to the cheese that I have in storage here, you'll see that we have lost some this year. So cheese will still spoil, but its spoilage is a lot better, I think, than any other food in the game. Now, one thing I'm considering is doing a Farthest Frontier stream or two. So what I might do is do the stream content when I'm doing something like making a new housing development, like if we were to expand this one down here and for expanding farming and things like that. Basically, I'll mostly try to use the live streams for when we're duplicating things we've already done in episodes. So I've already done a lot about farming and about housing, so then I could just do that on a live stream rather than like wasting more episodes on it. If you want to catch these streams, the best way is to join my Discord notification squad. Link to that is down in the description. You get a ping basically every time I release a video or go live. Of course, you can subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification bell, but the notifications on YouTube are a bit hit and miss, whereas on my Discord, you'll get one every time. We're also getting a bit of a Farthest Frontier discussion going there, guys. So if you want to come and share your screenshots, share your videos, or just ask questions, please feel free to do so. Now, the barn has been built. Okay, so this is my first time using this. Let's have a look and see if we can figure it out. So it seems we have to do a couple of things here. First of all, it seems we're going to need to set a grazing area. And when we click on that, it gives us this right here. So once we do that, I guess this is where our animals are going to go to graze. Now, I'm not sure if we need to have a fence built around this. I think it will look nice regardless, so I'm going to build one around it, but I'll try to figure that out. Okay, so then it does show me where this area is, but if I want to build a fence around it, is that going to be difficult to do? Let's see here. So I can't see a good way of doing this because when I go onto my walls and roads, I can build them anywhere. Like this area is green right here, even though it is technically in the grazing area. So I'm not sure what the best way of doing this is exactly, but what I think I'll do is just go ahead and build it so it's one off the road like that and one off the building there, the barn, so then I'll know roughly where I'm going. Now when I come to building my fence, I know that I just go one to the left of the barn here. We can build that out, and I think it ended on this road piece here, so let's go to there. Then we'll come up this way a little bit as well, and we'll try and see how close we got that. If we go back to the barn here, and then we can see the grazing area. Okay, there we go. So I can see here that basically in line with this tree, if we do that piece there, that's going to be the right orientation until we get to here, which is just something I'm going to have to eyeball. So let's go and do that again in the build menu, and let's see walls right here. Okay, so in line with that tree is about there. So if we come this way, it was roughly about here, back into the barn, and we can see, okay, we've gone one too far, so we just come back one and fence it off. And that'll obviously connect up with the other fence, and then I'll just go to these pieces on the extremities and hit salvage, which because they haven't been built yet is not really that big of an issue. I'm also going to salvage a bit of fence right here as well and turn it into a fence gate. I'm not entirely sure whether workers need to get into the cows and that or not, but we're going to find this out together through this episode. Now, the other thing we have is the opportunity to add a herd size right here. So I'm going to keep it at the maximum for now, and I think that's probably the best thing that we can do. Basically, what the herd size is going to do is any animals above the herd size will then be slaughtered. I'm going to go ahead and add a worker in here as well. We have a couple workers in here because why not? But basically, if we have the herd size a larger number, that means that overall in the long run, we should get more food and basically more resources from this herd. Okay, so this has now come up on screen asking me to select a barn for my cows. So obviously we only have the one barn right now. We're just going to leave that and go ahead and hit confirm. He's actually showed up there. So this cow wasn't here before. Let's go ahead and press play, and now he is. All he's got got a friend and they're just walking to their field. They know where they live. That is awesome. My goodness, is that... Oh, we have 3 cows. I was like, they've bred already. But no, I forgot we bought 3 cows, not 2. That would have been awesome if they're breeding already. Okay, well, somehow they know where they live. I love that. And they're going to have a fence around them soon. And they seem happy. I mean, I think this is working. So yeah, good times. Obviously something I'll keep an eye on, and we're going to see what we can do with them. But I do love that I'm herding animals in the game. Not sure if it's just me, but it's something I've always enjoyed in city builders, being able to farm animals. And I think farming in general, I quite like it. But how about you guys? Are you fans, or am I just a bit over the top with this? Now, another thing we can do in the barn as well is we can choose to slaughter at any time, and you can also divide the herd, I think, if you have another barn. So that's grayed out for us because we don't just yet. You can also enable and disable milking. So mine is enabled right now, and hopefully that was going to help with a bit of food. So I also think that's used in the making of cheese as well. It would make sense that it is, of course, and I think that's something at level 3. Let's check that out. So yeah, we have the cheese maker there. We go at level 3, and it does require milk. So building the town up to level 3 is something I'll probably get to in the next episode. At the moment, I'm really trying to get the food at a better rate for our current population. Well, just like that, our food jumped right up. We had 10 for a while there, 10 months worth of food. We're just down to 9 now, back up to 10. There we go. So it seems that we are doing okay. It just seems to get low at certain points of the year. So definitely something I'm going to have to work on. And obviously with the cows in place as well, we're going to keep producing more milk and hopefully more food that way. Plus, we're going to look to upgrade our town soon, which I'm really excited about, to get that up to the tier 3 town center. You see, all we need for that is a bit more gold. Everything else we're doing fine with. Or do we need... we need another homestead built as well. Okay, but we're pretty close to being able to do that. All right, we just got an event, guys. The livestock here, the animal has been born. So let's go down to our pen here. And oh, did they go home for the winter, I think, because we were in the winter months. Hold on, let's play this. Okay, here we go. Maybe they're being milked, or maybe they go inside for the winter. It kind of makes sense because it's cold, right? But supposedly there's a baby. Oh my god, there it is. Hang on, let me find him. Oh, look at the baby cow, guys. That is awesome. I have to say, though, the baby next to the adult, that is quite a differential. I don't know if it literally just goes from being baby to being this size, or whether it grows in between, but that is quite a size difference. Anyway, there he goes. I love that. It's very awesome to have this now. And if we click on it, it says cow. I think it'd be great if you could name them. There's a little tab up here where we can set names for our cows. I would honestly love that. Anyway, a super fun episode today, guys. I've really enjoyed this one. I hope you guys have too, and I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, please do consider dropping a like and subscribing for more. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.